This is kind of the way that you hold Jessie, which I know looks really weird, but if I kind of hold his tail, you know, quite firmly, he's not so funny about up that end. But that's not what this video is about. And Jessie, of course, is not in the classification of being a big snake either. Currently he's not small either, but he's certainly not a big snake. And that's what I want to talk to you about today, is should I get a big snake? Or I would really like to have a big snake. And should I get one? Which of course would mean that you're getting an adult snake, certainly not a baby to begin with. So that's kind of a thing to think about, is that you will be getting a snake that has been brought up by somebody else and cared for by somebody else. And oftentimes that could be Jessie's gripping my leg like there's no tomorrow. As Jessie will, I don't know if you can see that? Can see that? Oh, you're a doofer. You really are. But pretty much that is what you'll be doing. You'll be bringing home a snake that somebody else has cared for, and it may have some issues like Jessie. No. Well, it could do, but you really do have to think about if you want a snake that might have some problems. Whereas if you bring home a baby and grow it up to be a big snake, that's a whole kind of other story completely, because then you've watched that snake grow and you know what that snake's disposition is and what they like and don't like and so forth. And unfortunately a lot of these days people will no longer want their snake because it has gotten too big. They don't have the time. They've got bored with it. They just don't want it anymore, unfortunately, and it happens quite often, and probably more often I think with a big snake rather than a little snake as well, and that is extremely sad. But that's life. We don't have to like it, but it happens. So I don't know what Jessie's doing. Of course, I've got his tail. I will try and grab his head. Come on, dude, relax. You know, I've been working with Jess coming up 3 years. Well, not quite, but and he is still my funny boy. Goodness knows what he's going to be like when he's much bigger to handle, but I guess I'll deal with that when the time comes. But it really is about, you know, big snakes. Well, you have to think about the size of the enclosure that you will need. You have to think about the cost of the food as well. I'm going to try and down here because this is where Jessie is kind of hanging out the most, on my feet and around my legs, because that's what he does. You know, there is that factor that you need to think about, is housing that big snake. If you're very confident, as somebody who's already had snakes, of course, and you decide that you're going to buy yourself an adult snake that is a big snake, then I guess you're well prepared to know what that involves. You know, I've got nothing against anybody deciding upon a big snake to bring home, so long as they do have that confidence, because a big snake will want you to have a lot of confidence with them. So, do you get a big snake? That is really the question that I'm sort of trying to answer and give you some pros and cons. You know, there's so many unwanted snakes out there because they have gotten too big, and I would really not want to deter anybody from actually going and taking that big snake and giving it a home. Everybody wants a baby or a hatchling or a young snake, but nobody really wants to take this 7-year-old adult snake that is 2.5 meters long, which, you know, I would myself, but you do have to have a lot of confidence in yourself. Be prepared to deal with any unwanted behaviours from that snake, which hopefully, if you work with them for long enough and they build that trust with you, those behaviours will become less. Unfortunately, there's no guarantee either. So, you know, I just wanted to mention about getting a big snake, and should you get one, because it has been, you know, sort of put to me, what do you prefer, a really big snake or a little snake? Now, I wouldn't say that any of my guys are in the classification of being a big snake. To some people, Jack, for example, who is over 7 foot, might be classified as a big snake. To me, well, no, not that big. When you're getting up into that 9-10 foot, most definitely that's getting to a big snake size. Jessie, my love. Jessie, my love. What is the matter? Honestly, he truly is that shocker to handle. Like I said, what am I going to be dealing with when he is a very big boy? That kind of worries me a little bit. I'm just going to let him hang over my shoulder, guys. I will hold his tush for him, as you can see. Yeah, he's a warrior, my Jessie. I tell you. I mean, by no means has he ever struck at me in all that kind of nervousness that he has. You know, I've continually asked, I'm going off beat a bit here, but I've continually asked the question, why is Jessie like this? Please, if anybody has the answer, or if anybody else has a snake that is like this boy, let me know, because he really is something else. And you know, I don't know whether that comes across on video very well, but it does. Jessie is a guy that likes to come out and just do his own thing. And as much as, like I said, I've spent so much time handling Jessie, you would think that should be chilled in that way, but he's not. So, but he's pretty easy going, fortunately, as well. Oh, he says, well, I can climb on that. So anyway, guys, you know, let me know if you do have a wonky dude like Jessie, who can't seem to find his feet as yet. Like I said, when he's a big guy, I sure do hope because I don't want him gripping me like he's you know, it's life or death for him. He may be like that, I don't know. Once he's on his up there doing his things, he just is cruising along like he's been doing it all his life. But being handled a little bit different. So anyway, you know, that's just my little bit about should you get a big snake. If you're confident, go for it. If you're a beginner and you've never had a snake before in your life, I would say no. Personally, I would say no to you. They do cost a lot more to feed and to house, and you've got to have room for them. So, but yeah. So guys, I have Lily. I'll spin you around. There is on the jungle gym here. I have, and I don't know, you might be able to, maybe if I lift up, you'll see Jack up there in Lily's spot, hence why Lily's been stuck on the jungle gym, which I don't know whether Lily's overly impressed by that, but that's just how it panned out. Jack already took the hangout spot tonight, so Lily got the jungle gym. But anyway guys, now I'll turn you around. Gee, sorry, here, there and everywhere. I'm going to say ciao, and as always, take care of yourself. Until the next video that I do, which won't be too far away from this video. Ciao guys.